Hello friends, welcome back to GK Sports India YouTube channel. And this is your regular The Kumbi Jikku show where player-turned-umpire K Srinath and I, G Krishnan, will review India's performance in the recently concluded test series against South Africa, losing both the test matches in Kolkata and Guwahati, ending on Wednesday with their biggest defeat by runs in Test cricket and also giving South Africa their second biggest win in Test cricket by runs. 408 runs, the margin of victory for South Africa, winning the series 2-0. And for the first time in 25 years, after Hansi Cronje, South Africa won 2-0 in India, it is Temba Bavuma who has that honor. To discuss this and more, and how India can bounce back in Test cricket, especially at home, we discuss this with K Srinath. Welcome, Sri. Welcome. And how have you been able to digest the fact that India have gone 2-0 down to South Africa and losing second series out of 3 home series in the last 1 year?
And a very tough, pill to swallow, because the alarm bells were in the open when India lost 3-0 to New Zealand last October. But I think, lessons were not learned. And again, typically, asking for pitches which favor spinners, starting off in Kolkata, which was disastrous, and, India losing in under 8 sessions. And of course, they didn't have anything to say in the Guwahati pitch, but it proved that they couldn't close it off on a good pitch. It's pretty difficult to digest, because we were holding on so safely to our fortress, what you can call, since 2012, when India lost a series against England. So India never lost till last year when we lost to New Zealand, and now drawing 2-0 blank against South Africa. Tough times, and it's a long way forward, and how they need to reinvent the wheel is the question now, because it's not about trying to plug the holes, and this will be forgotten in a jiffy, because India starts off their white ball sojourn on the 30th of November with the ODI first ODI kicking off in Ranchi, and mind you, the next test series which India plays is in August 2026, and they tour Sri Lanka. 9 months is a very long period. How they work around trying to resurrect themselves and become a force to reckon, what we were for close to a decade in the red ball format. It's all wait and watch.
Certainly, and this victory has taken South Africa to number 2 in the WTC points table as of now, and it has dropped India to 5th position. So do you see India, with the way they have been performing in recent times, make it to the WTC final? Because I don't see India making it to the WTC final in this cycle.
Jikku, 9 more test matches in this WTC finals. They play 2 against Sri Lanka away. They play 2 against New Zealand away, and they have a 5 test match home series against Australia. For me, the more worrying factor is when India plays at home. Because the sort of performances we put up in the recent past is deplorable. I mean, it's far too ahead now to look at and say that whether we stand a chance. As I already mentioned in my opening statement, 9 months down the line is our next test series. It's a long way. In between, we just are going to play ODI cricket. There's a T20 World Cup coming up in February, followed again by the razzmatazz and jing-bang of the IPL. Again, once IPL is done and dusted, without any practice against the red ball, India will straight away plunge into Sri Lanka, where they're going to get a taste of their own medicine. They certainly will be welcomed there with turners, where India will find it very difficult. So, I mean, writing them off it's at their own peril, but it's an uphill task. Now they are placed number 5 at the table. From here on, bouncing back and getting on to finish at number 1 or 2 is going to be a massive thing. And also, it depends on the sort of results that the other teams also are going to come up with. So it's a tough ask, but always being an eternal optimist, I would still give them a very, very outside chance.
Certainly, and former captain Graham Smith said in the SA20 launch not long ago in Mumbai that this was before the start of the series, And he said South Africa have to start well. Not only have they begun well, they continue to perform very well and finish the series so very well. What is it that has made South Africa win at home, or what is it that has brought India to such a low level that they are not anymore good players of spin bowling as we have seen in the recent past, and they are not able to even, at least South Africa have won 2 test series in India in the last 25 years, 2000 under Hansi Cronje and now under Bavuma. But India, for that matter, has never ever won a test series in South Africa, though they have won the odd test here and there or drawn a series. What is happening and what should India be doing?
I mean, what should India be doing is maybe, a 3 or 4 episode series we must be doing. I think there has to be a total overhaul in the system, I would mean to say, right from bottom to top. Accountability is the key. It could be the pattern of selection, the policies they've adopted, the players themselves. It's time for them to introspect and say, that were we up to the mark? Did we deliver when we were picked for India? And also the support staff, questions have to be asked. What is their role? I mean, I'm surprised. You have a foreigner like Mone Mokel, with due respects to his abilities as a fast bowler, he did wonders for South Africa. Now, tell me one thing. What is he going to come and tell people like Jadeja, who's been around for donkey's years, rolling over his arm as a left-arm spinner? What is the input he can provide to a Washington Sundar or a Kuldeep Yadav or an Akshar Patel? So, and people are now out in the open trying to defend themselves. And, the blame game has already started. I'm not calling for anybody's head or, chopping and changes to happen. But what I'm saying is that this is a collective effort which has brought the Indian test team to this level. A timing of series. India comes back after a white ball series, 3 days to plan and prepare for a series against South Africa. My question is, where India is so complacent that they thought they would steamroll South Africa, just like they did against West Indies? No. South Africa came very well prepared before they came into India. So the preparation is what takes you to that next level. I mean, I'm not touching upon the skill set or where India went wrong. I said it's a package. Tactically we made blunders. Once the side was picked, it was given to the captain and coach. We made blunders in picking the playing 11. Now, why is it called Test cricket? Because it's a test of your skill, it's a test of your character, it's a test of your resilience, your patience, bouncing back, handling pressure. It's a test of everything. You cannot have bits and pieces cricketers who can deliver for you in either 20 over or 50 over format to do the same thing over 5 days period in test match cricket. Now, how on earth can you go in with 4 all-round, or rather 4 spinners, with 1 spinner bowling only 1 over in the whole test match? Whereas his counterpart, the off-spinner, became the player of the series, a guy who's churned out thousands of overs playing for Essex in England, and he's hardly played half a dozen test matches over the 10 years of international cricket he's played. It's just a testimony to the way they have prepared, where they came into India. I think, overall, the blame game should stop and everybody should be accounted for. They should put up their hand and say, collectively, we failed. I mean, there's no point in, coming out in presses and saying, I was the man at the helm of affairs when India drew the series in England. I was the one who was in charge when India won the Champions Trophy. Sorry, that's all history. Why are people harping on the New Zealand defeat and this defeat in between the 2 test match series of West Indies? It's because of poor planning, poor tactics, the way we've applied ourselves. And if we are not going to respect red ball cricket, we cannot look at, resonating ourselves or, looking at the resurfacing of what we were as a quality side when Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli or an MS Dhoni, when they were at the helm of affairs. I think this has been by far the lowest India has seen in the last about decade and a half.
Sri, you just mentioned about the accountability of players and coaches, and we see the appointment of coaches. Is it high-profile names who have played a bit of test cricket and who they think can deliver? Because in the past, we have seen some high-profile players not delivering as coach, the greatest example being Kapil Dev at the turn of the century. We have also seen from South Africa, their coach, Conrad Shukri, who has not played international level, but who has been doing the job, who has been domestic coach for a long time. And also we recently saw Amol Muzumdar not playing international cricket, but guide India women to their first World Cup victory, as also their South African women's coach, Manla Mashimbi, guiding South Africa to the runner-up position in the recent Women's World Cup final. What is it about selecting the coach? Gautam Gambhir has had success as a player, but mixed results as a coach with losing both home series in the recent 1 year, twice out of 3 series.
Well, question can be asked even about Ravi Shastri or Anil Kumble. At least Anil Kumble had the experience of being, a mentor of RCB and Mumbai Indians for some time. He didn't have any, other levels of coaching in the past. The same was with Ravi Shastri. But, high-profile cricketers, they knew how to handle the egos of, the marquee players. They managed to keep the dressing room together, which was their main forte. But we saw when Rahul Dravid walked in, what sort of background did he come in with? He was at the NCA, he handled the under-19 boys, he handled the A teams. From there, he identified the players and handed them over to Ravi Shastri, who was the coach at that point in time. When we saw success under Ravi Shastri, under Rahul Dravid, it was because he came through the rungs of the junior cricket in India. When the same people talk about players coming into the fold have to go through the grind in domestic, why not the same thing being applied to coaches? You want to appoint somebody, it's just not about him being a level 3 qualified coach from the NCA, or he holds a coaching degree from Australia or ICC, or is a former test cricketer. Has he had any coaching background at the grassroots level in India is the question. Yes, due respects to Gautam. Gautam was a mentor of KKR when they won the IPL. But has he had some formal, training as a coach? No. So questions will be asked. At the same time, it might fire, it might backfire, as I mentioned about 2 names. But they had tremendous success as coaches, both Ravi Shastri and Anil Kumble. People might question, saying that, they had the best of bowlers, best of batters at the time for them to deliver. See, in sport, in cricket, especially in India, a captain and a coach is only judged by his performance. Or why not even players? Once they are past their prime, once they are done and dusted, only their numbers speak for what they have done. Unfortunately or fortunately, this game is all about numbers. So when it comes to that, yes, I think, the dictum has to be laid down. There is a CAC which, takes these applicants on board, and they have a formal, interview being done. I mean, what is it they look at? If somebody doesn't possess, a coaching background, he just walks in because of his profile as a past player. I mean, do you think he can do wonders, or does he have a magic wand with his hand? Yes, the job of a coach is confined to the dressing room, the practice area. Beyond, once they cross the line, it's about the players to deliver for them. But again, in this current setup, what are the coaches? It could be the head coach, it could be the batting, the bowling coach. What is it that they communicate to the players to get them back on road? Because trying to work on skill sets cannot happen in 2 or 3 days. I read a funny, it sounded funny for me. A couple of batters were asked to bat without their, front pad to negate spin and play with the bat. If they were able to deliver doing that within 2 days' time when they came to Guwahati, certainly I think the coach possesses a magic wand. See, skill sets will be developed over a period of time. You need to repeatedly get back to the drawing board, work on it. So yes, again, as I said, from top to bottom, bottom to top, there has to be, certainly a lot of tinkering done. Work has to be done, per se, in terms of everything.
And also, there is also this issue of scheduling matches, because we saw some of the Indian players, part of the test squad, come back from Australia after being involved in that T20 series, and within 3 days, they get ready to play the test format. And we also heard Gautam Gambhir say that there was little time that he could do prepare for the test series with the test squad after landing back from Australia. Is this now the time to have different coaches for different formats? There are even talks of VVS Lakshman being roped in as the test coach, and Gambhir look after the white ball teams. Does it make sense, or is it what we are heading towards? Because you also have to keep in mind that the coach will have players from white ball format coming to play test format, and needs time to understand the players and their mindset and what makes a successful team. So your thoughts on having different coaches for different formats, or should be like recently England got Brendan McCullum to coach all the three format teams, or is it going to be that way?
I mean, it's up to the appellate body to decide how they want to take a call on this. I mean, to be honest, Gautam has had a good time with the shorter formats. So yes, why not? If he decides, or if the board decides, saying that he can be a part of the 20 and 50 over format and look at trying to get somebody else into the red ball format, fair enough. It could be a call, because there are certain cricketers who specialize playing only T20 and 50 over formats. Certain players, because they're not being part of white ball cricket, forcibly they are there to take up to red ball cricket. So it could be the same with the coaching staff also. Having said that, again, scheduling, it's up to the top brass to decide how they want to put the players on the park at what point in time. You spoke about preparation time. Yeah, preparation is the most important thing for any series. Now, if you remember, we were talking about the ODI and T20 series that happened in Australia. Many of the frontline Australian players who were in line for the Ashes missed out on a lot of ODI and T20 cricket. For them, the priority was Ashes, red ball cricket. They wanted to excel in that. An example is Mitchell Starc. He let go plush IPL contract, and he said, I want to focus more on red ball cricket. I want to achieve something there. So unless and until somebody puts his mind and head on the chopping board and says, yes, I am here out to prove a point, and say that, why not? Pujara, 100 test matches for India. So he was never somebody in the mix of white ball cricket, but relentlessly he kept practicing. Available time, he played domestic cricket. Look at his numbers, fascinating. 60 odd first class hundreds together. I mean, that's a testimony to somebody who's there to go through the grind and say, whenever I find time, I'm a 60-70 test match player. No, you find time, get back to the road, go through the grind and play domestic cricket. Because I want to mention one more thing on this. People like Ruturaj Gaikwad, Karun Nair again on his comeback trial, Smaran from Karnataka, Sarfaraz Khan, a few names I'm talking about. They're making runs by tons in the season. Now, they play 7 rounds of league games, 28 days, they're out in the middle. They qualify, they might get 2, 3, 4 extra games to play. So when they were out playing 50 days of red ball cricket, and if they're not recognized, and people with 2 sixers and strike rates of 170, 180 based on IPL performances drafted into the Indian side, I think the signal being sent is totally wrong. I think right when I said the selection policy, the players put together, everybody have to get their priorities right. Now, lip service, when you are available, play domestic cricket. I mean, are you just passing on the message, or are you enforcing, or it's a dictum saying you have to be available? I mean, these certainly are hard questions that have to be answered. Now, why the hell will anybody bother about playing Ranji Trophy anymore? Because next 9 months, there's no test match cricket. Will they? Now, all these guys, after this test series, many of them who have not been picked for the ODI squad, obviously will straight away walk into their state side and play in the Mushtaq Ali. After that, again, there's a break. People will again get back to the teams, play the Vijay Hazare red ball cricket, white ball cricket. So will they think, or will there be a dictum for them from the top saying that, no, come the end of January, we have 2 more rounds of Ranji Trophy to be played. A communication from the committee saying, you guys are in the periphery. Because look, Jiko, one thing, just because of these performances, you cannot lose quality players like a Sai Sudarshan or somebody like a Dhruv Jurel. Get them back on road, bring them into confidence, ask them to play more of domestic cricket, get them more on A series when they are not part of this, white ball stuff, because these are the future of Indian cricket. You cannot be picking players on IPL performances and blooding them into red ball cricket. I mean, this is certainly not on.
You just mentioned about Sai Sudarshan and Dhruv Jurel, 2 talented players, but their position in the test squad keeps changing. Their batting slots keep changing. We saw in the first test a new number 3 in Washington Sundar, and in the second test, Sai Sudarshan back in the test 11. He took up that number 3 slot. First test, Shubman Gill was number 4. He has been number 4 since he became captain and playing in the home test, but because of injury, he was out. So you rope in Dhruv Jurel as number 4, who has not had any experience of playing at number 4, even for his domestic side. What does these kind of changing in batting orders changing players for different tests, what does that imply? And what confidence levels will the players be with?
Yeah, that's what I want to come to. The most important thing in this scenario is communication. What is the coach and the captain communicating to the particular player saying, why are you at number 3? Why are you at number 4? That's the most important thing. And number 2 is, I am not aware how secure the atmosphere within the Indian dressing room is. Because you pick 4 spinners for the first test match. Diabolically opposite, you just, drop Akshar Patel and you pick somebody like Nitish Reddy, who bowls put together 6 overs in the whole test match and bats as low as number 9 in the second innings because they had a night watchman and Kuldeep. Now, don't tell me your all-rounder is going to bat at number 8. And see, with due respects, 100 in Melbourne. After that, he's not lit the world afire by what is done as a batter. Now, again, the clarity of role is most important. What is Nitish Reddy? Is he a bowler who can bat or a batter who can bowl? Neither he himself doesn't know, or he's in such a brain-fade moment right now. He's forced upon to do what the management is doing. As I said, communication is the most important thing. If you find or if you feel a cricketer doesn't want to push himself to that extent, saying, I'm happy to play white ball cricket, I don't want to take names. Many of them do so. They don't even term for the domestic sides on Ranji Trophy, play only the Mushtaq Ali and Vijay Hazares. Fair enough. They want to be, experts in that particular domain. Fair enough to do so. But as a management, as a group, the communication has to be open and told in private, not in the public. Call the person and tell him, son, you've got a long future in Indian cricket as a red ball player. We require you to hone your set skills on certain areas. That's why we are throwing you in the deep end, preparing you for this many number of A series in the, off time. Play domestic. You'll be certainly given that wrong rope, because the sentence or statement which the chairman of the selection committee made saying, we would love to give 15-20 test matches, which is unheard to my knowledge in cricketing history in India. No selection committee has made that. Other way around, the coach and the captain are chopping and making changes, minimum 3 changes in every game. So how do you, compliment the statement of the chairman? It is contradictory. I mean, both have to go, they have to be in sync when they work on this. The left hand doesn't know what the right is doing. Certainly, we are not on the right track.
And often we ask players of their preferred batting positions because they have been moving up and down the order by choice or by force. They often say, we are ready to bat wherever the team wants us to bat. We will do it because the team come first, understood. But are they scared in saying their preferred position? Because we had a certain VVS Lakshman who put his foot down and said he will not open and bat in the middle order. And he succeeded in that. He knew where he was good at, but are today's players feared of telling the management their preferred position because they know best where they are good at? Unless he is somebody like Virendra Sehwag who can bat like a maverick wherever he did a very good job at the top of the order. But what is this mindset of the players, and should they be more brave enough to tell the management and put their foot down and say, this is my batting position, I will bat here and I will do a good job if you give me a fixed batting position?
I mean, look, it's not a question that is very easy to answer, because if you've got somebody like Shubman Gill bat at number 4 being the captain of the side, there's one more batter in the side who says, if at all I bat at number 4. Does it make any sense in the sort of query he's putting up? The only place he's got is to warm the bench. See, sport is such, Jiku, that there's no security in sport. If it becomes secure, there's no fun in it. I think, but again, Test cricket, you need specialists. Your side cannot have 3 all-rounders, 4 spinners, 2 fast bowlers, 3 specialist batsmen going into play a test match. You can call it a template, actually. You need those 5 specialist batters. You need a wicketkeeper who can bat. You can have an all-rounder followed by 4 bowlers. It could be 2 spinners, 2 fast bowlers, or 3 fast bowlers, 1 spinner, whichever way you want to look at it. depending on the conditions. I mean, the selections that were done in the recent test matches were like they were picking sides for T20 or 50 over cricket. That is certainly alarming. So I'm not using the word about secure at all. Is the atmosphere congenial? Is it providing that sort of confidence that needs to be given to the boys is what is important. Now, more or less, when I see these guys, especially when they batted in the second innings, it looked like they were playing for their places. And mind you, as I already mentioned, one day coming into it, already the teasers are out for Ranchi. The Roko show is again going to begin. Virat Kohli is arrived from England already. It's all focus about red ball cricket. I mean, white ball cricket. Sorry. And there's going to be an auction for the Women Premier League today, and totally this will be forgotten. And there'll be certain purists who would always say that this is what it is. So again, what I say is we have to get our priorities right. It can't be lip service saying the sanctity of Test match cricket. We need to protect Test match cricket. To do all those things, what is it you need to get going is the most important thing. Now, the selectors need to watch more of domestic cricket. It's just not watching a one-off Dulip Trophy or Irani Trophy game to pick your sides. Your 5 selectors who are supposed to go and watch matches, pick your sides, choose your players, go watch as to what they are doing. And when you say skill set temperament, for example, if you throw a player in the deep end and say he has to straight away go and play on a turner, start implementing that in your domestic cricket. Prepare those turners. Ask these boys to play on those turners. Once they start scoring runs on these turners in domestic, they'll get that confidence to deliver when they get to the next level. As I always said, domestic cricket is the place where you experiment, you try to hone your skills, get better. When you get into the test match scenario, you're a finished product. There is no place for you to experiment there saying, I'm going to try this out. Sorry, that's not the way forward.
Is this the case for having a separate red ball set of team, prepare them for the test cricket alone, and have white ball players playing T20 and one-day cricket? Because there is no shortage of skills in India. Domestic cricket, there are so many consistent performers year after year, like the names you mentioned, Sarfaraz Khan, Karun Nair, Smaran, and those kind of players. Is it a possibility, or is that a solution? Have identified only test specialists and have a different set of players playing the T20 and one-dayers?
Look, to me, I'm not a great fan saying that identify particular players for particular formats. Now, we had the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Rishabh Pant, or even an Ashwin for a very long time playing all 3 formats, somebody like Bumrah. So there are 2 things. One is your, skill set to adapt to each format at a very quick turnaround time is number 1. Number 2, it depends on your fitness. Also, form plays a very major role. Look, you need to form a pool of players, engage them in more tours abroad, play more A-series games, have a mix wherein you get to play ODIs, you get to play 4-day games, where you prepare them for the future. You've got a wonderful facility in Bangalore, the COE, wherein, you've got such magnificent pitches prepared there, which can give you bounce, which can give you pace, turners. Put these cricketers whom you feel have been found wanting in particular skill sets. Let them go through the grind. Let them be monitored by specialists there. This is the only way forward for you to build your future. I mean, nobody will put up his hand and say, I want to be a test match specialist. Why would he? He would throw his hat in the ring and say, I'm available for all 3. It's up to you people to decide or label, saying that, am I good enough only for this or here? Tomorrow, would you feel that, Sai Sudarshan will say, I want only to be a test match specialist? He's had 2 years of wonderful run in IPL with Gujarat Titans. Why would he let go of that, format? So it's not easy to take away certain things from these boys. But again, what I said, prepare a large pool of players, start working on the areas where they need to get better, identify them, give them a run, ensure they play domestic cricket, make them part of, A series, wherein they get exposed to different conditions. And as I said, from the top to the management, to the coaches, to the players, there has to be an open channel of communication, and call players if they need to get better on certain areas, communicate to them in private so that they can work on it and get better.
See, a while ago, you mentioned about accountability and coaches and players being accountable. In Guwahati Test, we saw the stand-in captain Rishabh Pant play that atrocious shot, get out, maybe not aware of the situation or not playing according to the situation. And we often hear experts say this is how he plays, or the coaches say this is how he plays. I read somewhere Ian Botham again saying about if somebody says this is how the team plays or this is how he plays, I'm going to throw anything at the TV. So is this how they play? And we have seen in the past couple of players well set, throwing it away because those shots have got them runs. At the same time, they have caused their downfall more often. Where can this stop, and where can this accountability with the players and also taking responsibility, playing according to the situation come from?
See, certain things, Jiku, like you can work on somebody's skill set, you can work on somebody's mental aspect of the game, you can give him that confidence. But handling pressure, playing the situation, taking the bull by the horns, these are all not things that can be taught inside a change room. So, well, who's made the person you mentioned, Rishabh Pant, the way he is today? It's the same former cricketers, the pundits, the scribes, the media who've taken him to cloud seven, and they pull him down once he plays that shot. Now again, where do you draw a line? This is what is the adage? That's the fearless brand of cricket with which we are toying with today. Now, if you don't respect, because Test cricket is a beast, it's not like T20 or 50-over format where you can have a couple of failures, bounce back just like that. 5-day cricket, as I said, it's a test of everything. So you don't respect that particular mode, you certainly cannot become a legend. Why did people like, let's say, Kapil Dev, Tendulkar, Sunil Gavaskar, and Anil Kumble, uh, Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, Saurav Ganguly, Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli? Why are they called the legends in red ball cricket? Not that they didn't do well in white ball cricket, because it was about the preparation, the manners they put in practice, the way they prepared, and more than anything, they respected the game. The day you just throw the game under the bus and say, I'm above the game, I mean, you will end up in such space that, nobody's going to turn around and look at you. So what you've done will always be history, but currently what you're doing and raise the bar is what is the question. So again, as I said, the whole wheel has to be reinvented. There has to be a lot of revamping done. And again, it just cannot be lip service. And as I'm repeating this for the third time, everybody will forget this in 2 days' time. Once you see the India men in blues turning out on Ranchi on 30th, it's all going to be white ball cricket.
Yes, very true, Sri. I totally agree, and this is going to be soon forgotten. But hopefully, the decision makers, the authorities, the team management don't forget this and make and learn from these mistakes. And hopefully, India play better at home in whenever they get to play Test cricket at home, not lose to people and not lose away and not lose at home. That is something which is very difficult to digest for an Indian fan. And hopefully, there are lessons learned seriously. On this note, we can go on and on, Sri, talking about Indian cricket and what's to be done and what is wrong and all that. But we are also having this time factor. And hopefully, there is more positive to talk about Indian cricket in the next episodes. Thank you very much for some wonderful thoughts and some serious points that should be noted by the authorities if Indian cricket has to get better. Thank you very much once again, Sri, and see you again soon. Thank you, viewers. Hope you like what we discussed. There is a lot of points to ponder over, and do like and subscribe if you like this program, and do give your comments on what more we can talk on cricket, because Sri has got some wonderful ideas, wonderful thoughts, and some serious points to think about. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care.